Good afternoon, you nasties. My name is Angel Ardito, and if you don't know who I am, basically what I do is work to normalize all things sensual, because these are things that, as humans, we typically all experience, but we're too ashamed to talk about. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit differently, though. I'm going to be reading my Instagram comments. As a woman who is sexually empowered and tries to sexually empower other women, I get a lot of interesting comments, and I just thought that it would be interesting to read some of them to you today. So, without further ado, let's get into it. How are you not pregnant yet? I find this one to be really funny because, birth control exists, and so many people in my comments are like, she's gonna be pregnant in a year. No, my man got a vasectomy. There's not gonna be any more kids running around this house. And I feel like the person who commented this probably could have answered it for themselves, but there you go. That's the answer. How am I not pregnant yet? My man got a vasectomy. The funny thing is that you think yourself is hot, a bunch of laughing faces. First and foremost, whether I do or don't think that I'm hot doesn't really matter, and it doesn't really affect your life. I think that attractiveness is totally subjective. Some people might think I'm the ugliest thing alive. Some people might think I'm beautiful. Some people might think I'm hot. It doesn't really matter. Ultimately, what other people think about my attractiveness doesn't matter. And honestly, I think that what's more funny is not the fact that I think I'm hot according to you, but more so the fact that you think it's hilarious that someone would have confidence in themselves and then take time out of your day to comment on it and laugh about it, even though it's something that absolutely 100% does not affect you in any way, shape, or form. But you do you, boo. I just realized you look like the chick from Midsummer. I know exactly who you're talking about, that psycho redhead, and the minute that I saw her, I was like, she looks like she could be my sister. So I do agree with that. I'll give you that one. Is she really talking about yoga? No, I'm not really ever talking about yoga. And for those of you who don't know, basically I teach sensual positions online. And because of platforms wanting to censor that, I decided to start calling it couples yoga, and then I teach it as if it's a yoga class. So to answer this question, no, I'm not really ever talking about yoga. Pants have a waistline that's supposed to sit on your waist, not above your belly button. If you're truly comfortable with yourself, then let that sack hang out the front. There's no rules to fashion. I can do whatever I want. I could wear my pants down low. I could wear them up high. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't really affect you. So I'm not even going to address that. Girl, we used 6 of your spicy yoga positions. I've never been so cough cough. I slept for 12 hours. This is the kind of stuff that I love to hear. If my content is helping even just one person have a more enjoyable experience with their partner, then I've done my job. I appreciate this so much. Thank you. I'm intrigued, but I feel like I would crush my yoga partner, then crush them. Our partners are way more durable than we give them credit for. They can handle a lot. Just tell them to let you know if it starts to get too intense, and then go at it and don't think about it again, because they'll let you know if it is. Crazy how you have to call it spicy yoga, but I've seen plenty of reels of people with their lady bits out, or of people flat out dying, but that's okay. This is something that I will never understand, but I just have to work around anyway. I provide educational content. None of it is meant to arouse or be explicit. It's literally just to teach people about this section of their life. That's all I have to say about it. I definitely don't understand it either, but it's just the way it is right now. Can 5 inches satisfy a woman? I guess it depends on who you ask. I think that 5 inches is very adequate. I also think that 2 inches could be adequate. I also think that 8 inches could be adequate. And I know that this is what a lot of people say, but it's not necessarily just about the size. That's a factor, but it's not the whole equation. Women tend to need stimulation in multiple different areas in order to reach the finish line anyway. So when you take that into account, and size being only one small piece of the equation, chances are that 5 inches is more than adequate enough. Use your hands, use your mouth, and have fun. My hips repeatedly dislocate in this position, LOL. LOL? Personally, I'm a firm believer, if something hurts, don't do it. If your hips are dislocating in any kind of position with your partner, do not do the position. Abort mission, abort mission, abort mission. I don't know how many times I should say it, but abort the freaking mission. Don't do something if your hips are dislocating like that. Why does she say partner, not your man? I get so many comments like this, and I don't know what's so hard to understand about it. I use the term partner because that can be all-encompassing, it can be all-inclusive, it can be any kind of person that you're engaging sexually with. There are a lot of people who watch my content who are non-binary, transgender, bisexual, gay, and I don't want to exclude them from the conversation. While yes, a lot of my content is geared toward heterosexual relationships, that doesn't mean that I want to actively exclude all types of people from my content, if that makes sense. I've responded to comments like this so many times that I've actually just kind of stopped stopped engaging with people like this, because I feel like it's not that they don't know why I use the term partner. It's that the reason makes them uncomfortable, and that's shit that they need to deal with on their own. And lastly, how do I help with cramps? Anything riding related, I get awful cramps in my calves or thighs. I just had to throw this one in here because I think it's something that so many people experience and I wanted to address it. First and foremost, you want to make sure that you're getting enough magnesium and potassium. So aside from taking supplements, you can also eat more bananas or mangoes. And then you also want to make sure that you're stretching. How many of us work all day and then we come home and we sit our asses on the couch and watch hours of TV and we don't stretch or move our bodies at all? And then when we go to engage in the bedroom, we have all these cramps and pains and little aches that we don't need to be having. Making sure that you're getting enough potassium and magnesium, but also stretching regularly. Even if all you can do is 5 minutes a day, do that. Start there. And then in the moment, if you're starting to get cramps, I would just say ease out of that position and do something else for the time being, because in my experience, once you start getting a cramp, that shit does not go away and it doesn't make the experience enjoyable for you. So why would you be doing it? All right, that is all for today, you guys. I really appreciate you all coming and listening to some of my comments with me. If you didn't find it entertaining, then I'm sorry, move along. If you found it entertaining, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, stay spicy.